Hello and welcome to our video on how to microdose with magic mushrooms. Microdosing is the practice of consuming sub-perceptual doses of psychedelics, such as shrooms, to improve creativity, focus, and overall well-being. In this video, we'll be discussing the basics of microdosing, including how to prepare and consume shrooms for microdosing, as well as the potential benefits and risks associated with the practice. What is microdosing? Before we get into the specifics of how to microdose with shrooms, let's first define what microdosing is. As mentioned earlier, microdosing is the practice of consuming sub-perceptual doses of psychedelics, which means that the effects of the substance are not strong enough to be overtly noticeable or disruptive to daily life. The goal of microdosing is to experience subtle changes in perception and cognition that can improve mood, productivity, and overall well-being. How to prepare and consume shrooms for microdosing. Now that we've defined microdosing, let's talk about how to prepare and consume shrooms for this purpose. It's important to note that the legality of magic mushrooms varies by location, so be sure to check the laws in your area before attempting to obtain or consume them. If you do decide to proceed with microdosing shrooms, the first thing you'll need to do is obtain a supply of dried mushrooms. It's important to source your mushrooms from a reputable dealer to ensure their quality and purity. Once you have your mushrooms, you'll need to grind them into a fine powder using a coffee grinder or a pestle and mortar. This will make it easier to accurately measure out your doses. To determine your microdose, it's recommended to start with a dose of about 0.1 to 0.2 grams of dried mushrooms. This is considered a sub-perceptual dose and should not produce any overt psychoactive effects. You can either mix the mushroom powder into a drink or food, or you can simply swallow it with a glass of water. It's important to note that the effects of shrooms can vary greatly from person to person, so it may take some experimentation to find the right dose for you. Potential benefits and risks of microdosing. Now that we've covered how to prepare and consume shrooms for microdosing, let's discuss some of the potential benefits and risks associated with the practice. There is some evidence to suggest that microdosing can improve creativity, focus, and overall well-being. Many people report feeling more productive and motivated after microdosing, and some even claim that it helps to alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. However, it's important to note that the research on the long-term effects of microdosing is limited, and more studies are needed to fully understand the potential benefits and risks of the practice. While microdosing is generally considered to be safer than consuming larger doses of psychedelics, it's still important to be aware of the potential risks. The effects of shrooms can vary greatly from person to person, and some people may experience negative side effects such as dizziness, nausea, or anxiety. It's also important to note that microdosing may interfere with the effectiveness of certain medications or cause interactions with other substances. Conclusion? In conclusion, microdosing with shrooms can potentially offer a range of benefits, including improved creativity, focus, and overall well-being. However, it's important to be aware of the potential risks and to start with a small, sub-perceptual dose to gauge your personal tolerance.